My name is Anthony Feyitimi. My team calls me Fei.
Did you say your name is Anthony?
Feyitimi.
Just so for the records, we heard that. My name is Anthony eBay, so please continue. Good to meet you.
My team calls me Fei. I go by that very frequently. We're solving a very critical problem. Medical devices on the continent there's a significant funding gap for medical devices in Africa and in Nigeria. Most of the medical equipment and devices that we have today are products of charity, some combination of financing that is not very well structured. Financing for medical equipment on the continent is generally broken. And I'll use a personal example. I nearly lost my mom to breast cancer. And it was because for years it was impossible to detect the lump that was growing in her breast. And finally we were able to detect it with a more high-resolution mammography machine. But it brought to me very close to home how it is possible for somebody to literally die from not having the right kind of equipment to take care of them. And so in researching the problem, I discovered that the global per capita spend on medical devices is $77. The number in Africa is $9.70. The number in Nigeria is 90 cents per capita.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So there's this widening gulf. By 2030, Africa should be spending $232 billion to be able to meet its medical equipment needs. But by the current trajectory that we're going, we'll probably land at 19 billion. So you can see that there's this really huge gap between what we should be spending and what we are currently spending. As a finance person, I have more than 13 years of experience in finance. I've never been a healthcare person.
Okay.
I had my first foray into healthcare in 2021. Before then, I used to be in aviation and maritime across Africa and the Middle East. And so we do this in three specific ways. We bundle all of our medical equipment deals that we've done so far and that we will continue to do with insurance, with maintenance, with replacement of spares, and with revenue generation efforts in partnership with the facilities where we place the equipment. The idea is that if I put a naira into, or a dollar, or a pound, whatever your currency is, into medical equipment and medical devices, I'd like to get back my pound and a return on it. Today, it doesn't work like that. There's a lot of lost financing because people try to back medical devices. And so what we are doing basically is going into the trenches with the healthcare facilities to kind of ensure that we run a model that solves their problems while also driving utilization of the assets. So we are able to do something, for example, where an ultrasound machine that will probably do 5 procedures in a month, 5 procedures per day, ends up doing 50 procedures per day. This is the difference between $1,500 a month and $15,000 a month. So by driving utilization at zero upfront cost for our asset placement at the facilities, we're able to build a product that both the financier and the healthcare facility and the OEMs who supply the equipment want. That's what we're basically trying to solve.
So the third part you mentioned, which is around working with them to ensure revenue.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to speak to that. How does that work?
So this is something interesting about the model is usually what you will find today is a lot of leasing arrangements where an item is placed in the facility, the lessor walks away and comes back every month and says, "Where's my money?" And you have a situation where most of these facilities are unable to generate cash flows from the asset that you've deployed. There's a lot of pictures at the beginning, a lot of noise and fanfare, but ultimately it's abandoned somewhere because there's no utilization. So what we are targeting is driving utilization by bundling in marketing efforts, and branding efforts. And so, for example, in Nigeria, because of the system that we currently operate, we're able to drive utilization by aggregating demand from different centers to our own facilities. We are able to drive the utilization of the assets that we place, and this gives us, the upside of being able to share revenue. I forgot to mention that the asset costs zero to the facilities from day one. So they're not paying any upfront cost at the beginning. And you might wonder how we are going to survive with that kind of model. we live and die in the utilization of our assets. I'm a Yoruba person, and there's a proverb that says if your medicine is very sure for you, you use it to hit your head. So, like,
I heard that.
if you really think that your voodoo is strong and it works, you'll tap yourself with it to show people that I'm not going to die from using this. So the way we're looking at it is this, and it's very simple: is that there's a reason why funds and large money sources, pools of funds, are not backing medical equipment deals. We'll bite the bullet and walk into that reason and try to figure it out. If we do it 1% better, we unlock $5 billion worth of value on the continent. And that is a huge upside when you think about it. That is something that keeps me both excited and scared at the same time in trying to solve this problem.
You said it's already working.
Yes. So
Tell us about that.
So far, we've placed about $100,000 worth of equipment in 4 facilities across Lagos. Our first placement of equipment was in March. In March, March
2023.
March 2023. Yeah, we're very, very new. But we have been really punching above our weight. So in March 2023, when we placed the first equipment, our first revenue was 175,000 naira. Today, our revenue is around 2 million. So it's showing us that the model can work. Right? And we're expecting that should double by next month. So it might not be significant numbers to you, but walking into a place that just did not have any kind of structure, and putting in that structure, and then kind of working alongside the facilities with the equipment that you've placed with them to ensure that the assets are always online and are able to work and are backed by proper power, and we provide all of the supports that they need, gives us an idea about what this model can become.
And these facilities, are we talking both public and private facilities? So,
I mean, there's only so much that $100,000 can do, right?
True.
So for today,
medical facility. I just have to say that it's expensive.
I know. So today, what we're doing is actually around private. Okay. But ultimately, we're looking at public too, because we're having those conversations as we go. Part of something that we're very, very excited about is an arrangement that we're structuring today to kind of tap into some facility by the IFC that allows medical equipment financing on the continent. We're in very interesting conversations around that. And we've been speaking to a lot of funds and, telling people we have a new model. This is like, think about Uber before Uber. If somebody had told you that you could get into another person's car and just go around the world and they will pay them and they'll be fine with it, I mean, it's something you will think was impossible. So we're looking at this as the next iteration of what medical equipment utilization should be, which is access over ownership. And of course, many facilities in Nigeria and Africa will still like to own, but we'll provide them access over a 3-year period, and we're able to allow them own after that.